What's going on, everybody? We are back here with another video. Uh, so I'm not sure how I want to start this because there is a lot of things that I need to talk about. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about, but um, first of all, the one thing that I do have to start, talking about, is if you guys watched my Rules of the Worlds video, this kind of comes into place. So, and some of the other videos that I've uploaded, but I continue to believe that I have a curse. Now, the curse that I specifically, think myself is. Now, remember that I've told you guys that I'm not the best looking dude, but there's always some reason that when I get a job that has, plenty of women working in it around my age, there's always something that fucking clicks with either multiple or just like one who, just, with all that sort of shit. I told myself that I wasn't going to do it. And here I am, put myself back in the same situation I always do. And this time I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying. And it happened again. So, first of all, we have to go back. Today is Thursday, January 12th. This is literally 2 days after I posted the video, right after this one, or right before this one. So, I may have maybe dived in a little bit too deep with this, but everything that's been going on in the dating world, everything that's been going on is true. Um, I was always a little bit skeptical that it was just like an online thing that's been going on and all of that sort of stuff, but no, this shit's real. And that's coming from somebody who's actually witnessed it in firsthand, actually. So let's travel back a little bit. I'd say maybe Friday of last week into Monday of this week. So I ended up getting my phone turned back on for obvious reasons. I hinted at her that, oh hey, I got my phone turned back on, and so I can listen to music, and that was the hint. I gave her an opportunity to, like, if you want to take things farther, here you go. And she didn't take it. Now, like I said, I just met this girl. And when I was working with her, I didn't intend to leave like that sort of impression, because all I wanted to do was ask her, like, oh hey, can you help me with this, blah blah blah. And from there on out, it was, it's been a weird dynamic thing. But now I realize that things took a turn very quick. Now, the one thing that really put me off was when on that Monday, I gave her the opportunity to, like, hey, maybe we could, exchange numbers. Maybe if you actually, are into me or something like that, like, maybe we could take it step forward and, get into contact with each other. And that didn't happen. So, and this girl was like showing genuine interest, like she was showing signs. But that day, that I've did that, I was walking back from my break, and she there was another dude that she always had to work with, but for some odd reason she never talked to him at all. But for some odd reason, that day she started talking to him. Um, and she was laughing, being all cute and bubbly and everything with him, laughing, all of that sort of shit. And that clicked in my mind, like, oh, like, yeah. So yeah. Um, so this goes into the next part that I wanted to talk about, which is the title of the video. Now, she affected me in ways that she didn't understand. Now, what I mean by that is I've been alone. My last relationship was almost 8 years ago. This year I think will be like 7, since I've actually been into another relationship. But um when you're alone, when you adapt yourself to be alone, a lot of things don't affect you. Like, when she starts talking to another dude, or if she's, something like that, it does not affect you. It does not affect me. What affected me was that she was showing genuine interest in me, and I started to pursue it a little bit. But uh she started talking to this other dude, and and when women, for the women out there, you don't quite understand something here, and I need to make that very clear. Like, when you are genuinely interested in somebody, you do not make it a one-sided effort. Women don't need to go around and, oh, I have to show interest, I want men to chase me. But women only do that. They only show genuine interest. They only, oh, hey, I'm into you, blah, 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 blah. But, when you actually start, trying to, do something, she turns around and, backs off, you know, because, after that day that, she started talking to this dude, and I gave her the hint that, oh, maybe if you want to, take this farther, we could exchange numbers. And later that day, she was actually very, distant from me, because she had to, do a little bit of, work, with me. And when she was around me, she wasn't very, she wasn't the same. Um, she felt very distant. She felt, like she didn't want to be around me. And, that's that. I want to think she would be nervous or something like that. And, I try to, fuck around with her in a little bit, because that day specifically, there was only two of us at our specific table that we were working at, and so I didn't have a lot of time to do, a lot of stuff. Um, and so I had a pile of boxes, and, I decided to, fuck around with her a little bit, like, oh, yeah, hey, I'm sorry, I'm building a fucking pyramid of boxes and everything like that. And she just kind of, oh, maybe you could, clean as you go and everything like that. And, that just kind of put me off a little bit. Like, I know that, but I just don't have fucking time for it. Especially when we have to meet a quota every day. Like, that's, you know. And so, um, yeah, that happened, and, and that kind of put me off her a little bit. And so, the next day, I decided to break it off with her. I had to do some stuff on a forklift and everything, and of course she had to work with me. She was doing something else, like, right next to the fucking area I was doing, and, she tried to, try to fuck with me on the forklift, and I'm like, yeah, no. I gave you a chance and you didn't fucking take it. So, um, women, if you end up fucking seeing this or something like that, like, everything doesn't need to be about, oh, I'm showing interest, now you have to chase me. When it becomes a one-sided effort, after you show, like, genuine interest, and then that's all it becomes, like, that's no. Like, that's not how that fucking works, because men too. Men can fucking drop signs. Men can drop, um, you know, we can drop hints. We can drop, we can just, we can do the same shit. But if we show that, if nothing, flourishes or nothing kicks off, we're gonna fucking move on. Like that's how it works. And then I started to know this, like, if you genuinely like somebody, but it's okay to socialize with other people and everything like that. That's fine. But when it becomes this fact that women treat men as options, you know, she can be all nice, and she can be overly friendly and nice, and laugh and talk to other people, or to, well, other male coworkers. And so that gives her the chance to, she can have whoever the fuck she wants. She can pick and choose. But when it comes with, you like a guy, like if you show genuine interest in this person, but you turn around and, you're laughing and, showing the same fucking kind of energy to these other male coworkers, that leaves the wrong impression. And that's what it started to turn out into. Like, and I broke it off fucking quick. But the thing was that I'm one of those type of people that if something like that happens, I always get into that sort of situation. That, I always get a girl that, is into me and everything like that, but nothing ever flourishes. Mostly because I don't know how to pursue it. I don't know, I barely have my shit together as it is. And, I just kind of leave it alone. That's me. And if when it, dies, or if it gets ripped apart, or if it gets fucked up or something like that, I always end up quitting the fucking job, because that's my way of getting out of the situation. And I once again, I did it again after, I've done this at maybe 3 4 different jobs. I haven't had any type of interaction with a woman that, oh, she really likes me, I really like her, and things just click. um and when things click the way they do, things will move very fucking fast. That's what people don't get. That's what women don't get. That's what men don't fucking get. That, if there is genuine fucking interest between two parties, if, a guy can really like this girl, and he finds out this girl really likes you, and then you start talking, things will move very fucking fast. Like, I'm not even kidding. And so, um, I had to break it off with her, because that's how it was starting to feel. Like, not like, I really liked her, she really liked me. Like, I started to drop hints, just like she did, and she didn't catch him, or she didn't catch him, she didn't know, or she just wasn't genuine fucking into me, and she just wanted, some dude with emotions to play with. And, and my buddy, or, well, my coworker that I was hanging out with, he was telling me, like, you just turned out to be someone that she can fucking play with. And, that's how it always is. And I made it clear, the last couple of days, like, hey, you know, I'm not somebody to fuck around with like this, because I'm looking for something real. And if you don't provide that, if you don't give that to me, I'm going to, like, completely ignore you. And that's exactly what I fucking did. Um, but she was genuinely, my mom was picking me up and like that, and she was saying that she was genuinely, sad that I was completely ignoring her. Like, I ghosted her. It's I gave you all the options in the world. Like, one of the biggest fucking cues, one of the biggest drops I gave you was, oh, I got my phone turned back on, so I can listen to music and shit like that. And, I thought maybe we could get our, exchange numbers, and maybe, take this further. And, she didn't take it. So I said, fuck you. Simple as that. And so, um, I'm not too mad about it. Like, I knew what I was doing, but I don't regret the decision I've made, but it is something I will never forget, because it could have been, it could have flourished into something actually fucking real, but I, things didn't fucking take off as much as they did. You could have, attraction to somebody, like that's human nature, but when it comes to like actually liking someone and then turning around and showing all of these different signs, like, hey, I'm like this with everybody. A lot, like I was saying in one of my last videos, like, women can be flirtatious by nature. Like that's how it is, and they don't mean anything by it, but it gives fucking men the wrong idea. Like, if you're going, like, if you like somebody, like, genuinely, like, if you like this dude, don't make it a one-sided effort. Don't just sit there and show interest that you fucking like this dude or something like that. Like, let it be known. Like, give, like, push it, like, push the boundaries of it. It don't always have to be, oh, man has to fucking chase women, or something like that. Like, it can go both ways. If women genuinely likes this fucking dude, push the boundaries, chase the dude and see what happens. you know Men don't always have to do the chasing, just what fucking women believe. And that's the problem. Men are getting treated like fucking options nowadays. And I was, just everything online that I've been reading, like, I was kind of skeptical about it, because there's no way that women can actually be like this. But now that I've actually witnessed it firsthand, everything that people say about fucking dating nowadays is true. Like, it's bullshit. And so, yeah, so I had to leave my job because I specifically had to leave because it was getting to the point where it was starting to affect me in ways that she didn't understand. She probably knew what she was probably doing, but I'm one of those types of dudes that, if you're into me, don't really leave the wrong impression, because I'm just going, like I said, I'm going to fucking ignore you, even if I drop the biggest hint or something like that, but you don't take it, you don't catch on to it. And when I started to ignore her, she didn't reach out. She like, oh, hey, what's wrong? She didn't confess to me. And when something like that happens, like, if a woman really fucking likes you, like, genuinely, and you start completely ignoring her, and she doesn't know why. If she actually fucking liked you, she would reach out to you and, confess and, find out why you ignore her. Why did you start ignoring me all of a sudden? And, she didn't do that. So, uh, that told me right there that she was only looking for maybe a fling or a hookup for Valentine's Day, or, something like that. But, that's all it was. Like, it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't, it wasn't flourishing. It wasn't doing nothing. It was just awkward attraction. And that's what I saw it as. Like, she didn't put in the effort to actually, she kind of talked to me sometimes, like I was saying, in older videos, but that's all it was. It's just surface level fucking talk. It didn't get into the point to where things were moving quickly. Like, it was like maybe 2 weeks. Things just wasn't going anywhere. She didn't, find time to, talk to me on breaks, or, just to be around me. And, and the only time that she actually did make an effort to talk to me was, we always had to, stick our forklifts next to each other, or something like that. But, that's all it was she didn't, reach out to me. She didn't reach out to, during breaks, or, it didn't show me the effort that she wanted to, start hanging out with me outside of work. So, started to, get to know me, or, and that's what I look for. Like, I look for like a genuine deep connection. Like, I could not like a girl, but if there was a girl who was, genuinely into me, who actually started to show the signs, who wanted to get in contact with me, or if, just wanted to start hanging out outside of work, specifically breaks, and, just gave in that effort, you know, to show a guy that, oh, hey, I'm into you. I want to see if you, feel the same way. But, it didn't work out like that. So, um, I said, fuck it. I pretty much said, fuck you. I, uh, I, I put in the effort. I'm a quiet dude, and, I gave you the effort, the opportunity to, like, hey, if you like me, maybe we could, you know, start, talking outside of work, and, it didn't happen. So I had to leave before things got worse, before it got awkward. And for you guys out there who say, "Oh, I've met I met this girl at work and everything like that," you always have to remember that work-ship relationships, most of the time, 98% of the time, they will not work at all, because you can have a fight, or you could have a breakup, or you could, get, sick of each other or something like that, and you guys have to work with each other, and things get fucking awkward, and, that's what happened. That's what happens. And so I myself, she's been there for quite a while, so I'm not gonna get into the point where, oh, she had to quit her job or anything like that. But I got into the point where I had to leave, because, it was affecting me, that, it wasn't genuinely hurting me, but it was, it was getting worse, to the point like, hey, I I gave you the opportunity, you didn't take it, and now, fuck you, I'm gonna, move on. And, that's what I had to do. And now I had to search for a way to get out, and miraculously, my coworker that I was always hanging out with ended up, getting into an altercation with one of the warehouse leads there, and she walked him out. And so I took that opportunity to get out of the fucking situation. Like, oh, it affected whatever was going on with him. It happened to me too. So um that gave me the opportunity to get out of there, before it got worse, pretty much. But the things about it was that after I started to ignore her, it was to the point to where she started talking to him a little bit, not in a way that she wanted to, like, get a reaction out of me, like, oh, jealousy reaction or something like that. It was more like that she was trying to get close to him to get advice. That's what he was telling me. Like, she kept coming back into my area, driving back, and, she was always, she was looking at me, but he was telling me that she was also looking at him. And I'm like, why was she looking at you? And she's in, he told me, it's like, it was like, not in an attraction way, it was like, looking at me like, help me, I need advice. And um and that's what he kind of thought about it. But there was also times that he was also looking at her the same way that she was looking at me. And I was talking to my other coworker, and I was telling her, like, yeah, there's things that, he's been looking at her. He was trying to do things to, get her to notice him and everything. And and with this other coworker, I was telling her, like, I didn't fully trust him, because I know what he was doing. Like, I'm not stupid. I knew what he was trying to do. And um yeah, that's the whole gist of it. And he was a cold dude. And he told me, like, oh, if I actually really wanted somebody, I could do it. But yeah, there were signs. I even called him out on it. I'm like, bro, I see you're looking. I see you looking too. Like, I called him out on it, and, he, yeah, he knew. And that's the whole gist of it. So I gave her an opportunity to take it, and she didn't take it, and I pretty much said fuck you, and I'm gonna move on. And that was it. So and I hate to say it, but she seemed like a really nice girl and everything. She probably didn't know any better. But when you're close, when you're overly friendly, and when you're close to a lot of male coworkers there, because there was a pretty decent mix between young dudes my age and young chicks like him, like her there. So it gave her the opportunity that she has the options to pick and choose whoever the fuck she wants. And when she liked a specific guy, quoted me, she didn't do anything about it. So I got out of there, and chopper's out. So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm probably going to be back full-time making videos and streams, at least for the time being, because I do have to find something else, because I am getting back in the flow of getting back to work and everything like that. But yeah, so as always, I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Like, is there something I should have done differently, or is there if it was the right thing to cut it off and leave, or something like that. But yeah, I think that's about it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.